As the MotoGP world prepares to welcome the 2025 Italian Grand Prix at Mugello, surprising news is echoing from the paddock. MotoGP legend Valentino Rossi reportedly plans to award a personal bonus of €100,000 to his favorite student, Pecco Bagnaia, if Bagnaia defeats Marc Marquez on home turf. It's not just a cash prize, it's a message. It's an emotional and strategic move from a maestro who hasn't really retired from the MotoGP power game. Is this about racing, or has Rossi started a cold war to overthrow Marquez's dominance? Let's discuss, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The Mugello Grand Prix is not just an ordinary race for Italian riders. It's a stage for emotion, national pride, and a living history. For Pecco Bagnaia, however, this year's Mugello is about more than pride, it's about redemption. After a rough start to the season and constant pressure from the media, fans, and even Ducati, Pecco is finally showing signs of improvement. In Aragon, he proved it. He didn't rise because of luck, but because of one crucial thing, a technical breakthrough. The new 355mm brake discs gave him extra confidence during hard braking, an area that had previously been a weak point. "That changed everything for me," said Pecco, who had a different look in his eyes than before. With 14 races left and 93 points behind Marc Marquez, his chance at the World Championship is still alive. The road is steep, but not over. Valentino Rossi knows one thing for sure: if there's a place where Bagnaia can turn things around, it's Mugello, his home track under the blue Tuscan skies, where he'll be greeted by thousands of cheering tifosi thirsting for Ducati's revival and Italy's red, white, and green glory. Mugello is not just a track. For Pecco, it's a battlefield. This war has only just begun. Senior MotoGP observer Matt Oxley has no doubt in his mind that the defending champion will succeed. "For the first time this season, I believe Pecco can beat Marquez without expecting him to crash," said Oxley, a comment that immediately caught attention. This was not just an opinion. It reflected a changing dynamic in the paddock. It was a sign that the solid wall Marquez had built with the Ducati GP25 was starting to show cracks, and the world was starting to notice. Oxley also emphasized that Mugello was the perfect stage for a breakthrough. Not only because it was Pecco's home track, but also because Pecco was in tune with its character. He knew every corner, every elevation contour, and every temperature change on the track. If Valentino Rossi was betting big on this victory, it wasn't a blind gamble, it was a well-calculated strategy. Rossi may have retired from racing, but he hasn't given up control. Behind his easy smile is the instinct of a master chess player who knows exactly when to make a move and whom to entrust with it. As the founder of the VR46 Riders Academy, Rossi has been instrumental in the rise of a new generation of Italian riders, including two big names, Pecco Bagnaia and Franco Morbidelli. So, when news broke that Rossi had promised a €100,000 bonus for Bagnaia's victory over Marquez at Mugello, the public immediately realized that this was about more than money. It was a symbol, a psychological and emotional signal. It was a hidden message from a teacher to his student: it's time for you to pay back. The Rossi-Marquez conflict has never really ended since the drama in Sepang in 2015. Even though years have passed, the embers have not died down in the hearts of the tifosi. Now, Rossi seems to be blessing Bagnaia to finish what he did not have time to complete himself. This mission is personal and political. It contains the spirit of revenge and partisanship, as well as Italy's great hope to return to being the center of MotoGP power. So, at Mugello, don't be surprised if what's at stake is not just the podium, but also the interplay of the past, present, and unfulfilled ambitions. Behind the overtaking and whirring engines on the track, another war rages, one of technology and strategy. It's a hidden arena where engineers, data analysts, and riders compete behind closed doors. In this context, the battle between Ducati's two greats, Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia, becomes even more complex. They are now clearly taking different approaches to maximize the potential of the Desmacedicii GP25. With his precise riding style and analytical approach, Pecco Bagnaia chose the path of experimentation. One experiment was using 355mm brake discs, which are larger than standard, in the hope of creating more grip and stability while braking. Pecco was rebuilding his confidence, and new braking was key to his aggressive yet controlled riding style. Meanwhile, Marc Marquez seemed like a master chess player who could see 3 moves ahead. He tried the same discs but offered sharp, meaningful comments. Maybe only 2 or 3 braking points can maximize this disc's potential, Marquez said in his typical calm but piercing tone. For Marquez, it all came back to one thing: temperature management and feeling with the brakes. This statement almost sounded sarcastic, that at the highest level, performance is determined not only by technology but also by instinctive touch and racing instincts that are difficult to teach. The experiment is not over yet. In the post-race test at Aragon, Ducati began introducing a new aerodynamic package designed for the next homologation phase at Misano. Now the focus of the team's development, Marquez focused on aero refinements. Although the test results did not show dramatic time improvements, Marquez called them positive. However, in a racing world determined by tenths of a second, small changes in stability or wind efficiency can mean the difference between victory and defeat. At Aragon, Marc Márquez once again proved that the title of King is not worthy of being stripped from his name. He dominated from the start of the weekend, winning the sprint and main races with ease. Even after a hard collision with Pedro Acosta in the sprint race, an incident that could have ruined his chances, Márquez showed the character of a true champion by getting back up, staying focused, and overtaking one opponent after another until finally crossing the finish line in first place. However, behind the spotlight on Márquez's victory, new signals emerged that could not be ignored. Pecco Bagnaia, who has been in Márquez's shadow for the past few series, secured third place on the podium. This result may seem ordinary at first glance, but it actually sends a message. Pecco is finding his rhythm again and slowly but surely narrowing the performance gap with the standings leader. Franco Morbidelli also showed signs of revival. Morbidelli finished in 5th position after fighting off pressure from Fermin Aldeguer and nearly losing control of his motorcycle 3 times. Today, it wasn't just about who was the fastest, but who could survive the most, Morbidelli said, honestly summarizing the brutal but instructive Aragon race. With all these elements, Rossi's bonus, Bagnaia's revival, Marquez's dominance, technical experimentation, and Mugello's atmosphere, we're not just watching a race. We are witnessing a battle that could determine the future of MotoGP. Valentino Rossi knows that beating Marquez at Mugello is about more than just securing championship points. It's about honor and the identity of Italian racing. It's about protecting the legacy he's built through hard work and dedication. It is a symbol of resistance passed down from one generation to the next. If Pecco succeeds in completing his mission, history will record it as an extraordinary moment, when the student avenged his teacher on home turf in front of a sea of tifosi who came not only to watch but also to witness the rebirth of Italian glory on the Mugello asphalt. The 2025 Italian Grand Prix will be more than just a battle on the track. It will be a confrontation of personalities, team strategies, and emotional stakes involving the long history of 2 MotoGP greats, Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez. Now, Pecco Bagnaia is caught in the middle, serving as both a pawn and a weapon in Italy's last hope to overthrow the baby alien's dominance. Whatever the result, Mugello will be on fire. History will record this as the moment when racing turned into a war of pride. Is it all about the podium, or is Italian pride at stake under the Mugello skies? Write your thoughts below.